What's up, guys? Little with Max Ice here. No sunglasses. My hair's not done. Look, it's like a punk rocker's hair. How can I be in the military and have hair like this? Well, what you do is you take this hair and you comb it back and you gel it like crazy. And then boom, now you're in the military. Whatever. Anyways, crack open my beer here. Donald Cerrone versus Conor McGregor. Before I get to that, I wanted to say, go to the Mac Life. The Mac Life. TheMaclife. The Mac Life. Go to that channel. Watch the interview between Conor McGregor and I don't know who the interviewer is. It's really good interview. Like, I really like Conor McGregor's mindset. It's almost like, yes, I've made mistakes. I've tried to get better. And then I made more mistakes. And then now I feel like I'm being true to myself and who I should be. Because he even hits on, before he fought Khabib, which, I mean, it could be made up. He could be saying this. But before he fought Khabib, he was almost hitting on that, you know, he's a millionaire. He had a very bad camp from what he says. And you have to take him at his word, because who knows? His camp's real tight, and they're not going to talk, you know. So who knows if he had a bad camp or not. But he says he had a horrible camp. And he talks about he won the first round and the third round, and he made mistakes he shouldn't have, which is interesting because he didn't look terrible in the fight. It was just he wasn't focused, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a big Conor McGregor fan. I like his mentality, and I like the way he goes into fights. When he fights somebody, it doesn't matter who it is, when he's interviewed, asked, like, what do you think about this fighter, and do you think you can beat them? Conor McGregor will say, he's just another opponent. He's another obstacle I have to get through. And many great teams, soccer teams, which I hate to say that, European football, I'll just say football, and American football, many great teams, great coaches will say that. Like, they'll have a huge victory over a team, and the coach will say, that was just an obstacle, now we have another obstacle we have to beat. To keep their people focused. And I think Conor McGregor hypes himself up, and I think Coach Kavanaugh hypes Conor McGregor up, saying, like, you beat this guy, yes, celebrate, but that was just an obstacle. Now you have another obstacle to get over. And Conor McGregor's talking about Donald Cerrone like he's just an obstacle. He's someone I have to get through. And he keeps saying competition. I can't wait to compete with this guy. Meaning he's not setting himself up for failure. So it's not the old Conor, which, I mean, the old Conor he would say that, like, I'm looking forward to the competition. But this new Conor, maybe it's because he's older and wiser. He's 31 now, so he's still really young. And they say your prime fight years are from 30 to 35. That's where you still have physical abilities, and you still have knowledge. Like, because you've been in the fight game so long, you have knowledge, and you still have physical ability. Whereas a guy who's 18, 19, sure, he has physical ability, but he might not have the street smarts or knowledge built up because he hadn't been in that many fights. So Conor is still right there in his prime years, and yeah, but whatever. Anyways, like, I'm excited to see him excited, saying that I have to beat Donald Cerrone. He's competition. He's he's a wall in my way. I have to break through that wall to get to everybody else. I think Conor realizes that he has to come into the Donald Cerrone fight with a big game plan to beat Donald Cerrone. Because, I mean, you can knock Donald Cerrone out, but if you can't knock Donald Cerrone out, he will destroy you. Donald Cerrone is a beast, and that gets to where my fight prediction is. I do not think, and I hate to say this, don't get me wrong, I've said this in the past where I've been like, Conor McGregor will not beat this guy. And I said that about Jose Aldo. I said Conor McGregor will not beat Jose Aldo. And I said that about Eddie Alvarez. Conor McGregor will not beat Eddie Alvarez. And I also said that about the other wrestler that Conor fought. And I was like, he won't beat him. And Conor did. But I honestly believe Donald Cerrone has so many weapons to beat Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor has amazing kicks, leg kicks, stuff like that, but he doesn't, in his later years, he hasn't used them as much. I think if he could come out and throw some leg kicks, keep the distance. I love his front kick to the body. He does his front kick to the body. John Jones does it too. It's amazing. It judges distance, and it also kind of like keeps a fighter back. Like they get kicked in the stomach, they take a step back. Man, if he could come out and do that to Donald Cerrone, because Donald Cerrone does not like leg kicks. I think it was Nate Diaz he fought that hit him with leg kicks, and you could tell Donald Cerrone didn't like it. I would like to see Conor come out and use kicks to judge the distance, but I just don't. Wolf's freaking out outside right now. Wolf, be quiet! Quiet! Sorry. But, so I just think Donald Cerrone has too many weapons in his arsenal. Conor is not going to take Donald Cerrone down. That's not going to happen. Conor's a striker, and Donald Cerrone's a striker, but Donald Cerrone also has amazing jiu-jitsu, has an amazing ground game, especially off of his back. So that's not going to happen. Could Donald Cerrone take Conor down? Yes, very possible. I really don't think it's that hard to take Conor down. Now, he does good in his later fights when he's adapted and realized, like, I need to get away from the takedown. He does good, but I just don't. I feel like Donald Cerrone's going to do what Nate Diaz did to Conor McGregor, and I think he's just going to chew Conor McGregor up. If Conor does win, it's either going to be by like first or second round knockout, or it's going to be a decision in the fifth. If Donald Cerrone wins, it's going to be a knockout in all like 1 to 5 rounds, or a decision win. So I just feel like Donald Cerrone has more weapons to finish or just outpoint Conor McGregor. I think Conor McGregor's got power in the first and second round, and then I think he has the heart. I don't think he has the endurance, but he has the heart to finish out all, which they're not. Actually, I take it back. I'm thinking of 5 rounds. They're not going to fight 5 rounds, but Conor does gas in the third and fourth, so Conor could gas in the third. Conor could win the first and second round and gas out in the third, and Donald Cerrone could knock him out. Like, who knows? So Conor's either going to win in the first or second, or it's going to be Donald Cerrone. I think. I'm a big fan of both. I'm a huge Donald Cerrone fan. I'm a huge Conor McGregor fan. I like their fighting style. I like their anytime, anywhere, whoever, doesn't matter, fighting style. That's why I like the Diaz's. Like, I just like those fighters who are like, I don't care who it is, sign it up, And I think that's why Donald Cerrone, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz, I think that's why they are as respected as they are in MMA. But I just don't see Conor pulling this one out. I really don't. I hate to say that, but I just don't think he's. I'm going to be watching that night. I'm going to want Conor to win, because if Conor wins, he goes off to bigger and better things and sets himself up for a title fight with whoever. If Donald Cerrone wins, nothing happens. Absolutely nothing will happen. I guarantee that. Donald Cerrone will do nothing after he beats Conor McGregor. If Conor McGregor wins, boom, there's that story arc. You remember story arcs from wrestling, back in wrestling days. There's that story arc. Conor McGregor shoots off into the atmosphere and has a great story arc. Donald Cerrone wins, nothing happens. Nothing happens good for MMA. Nothing happens good for the UFC. It's just Donald Cerrone, sets himself up as one of the greats, which he is. But that's about it as far as Donald Cerrone. This is either build Donald Cerrone's legacy and let him retire off into the wild blue yonder, or have Conor McGregor build this huge story where we have a crazy title fight. A lot of people are interested. Because right now, guys, I know, I get called a, what do you call it? Dadgummit. I get called a fan, like a fanboy or whatever. Like I'm an amateur MMA fan. But when I have people over to my house to watch fights, it hasn't happened in a long time, a very long time, because there's no story arc. Jorge Masvidal's starting to build a name for himself, but Conor McGregor, you have to realize he is worldwide. When I have a Conor McGregor fight at my house, this place will be packed. When I have anybody else fighting, no one cares. No one cares about Khabib. People will come over and watch John Jones. They love John Jones. Stipe Miocic is starting to build a following with my friends that don't watch MMA. But, man, when I have a Conor McGregor fight, this place will be packed. When I don't have a Conor McGregor fight, this place will be half empty or just nobody will be here. Sometimes I don't even tell people. That's how, like, I'll know, like, I'm like, nobody knows who's fighting right now. I know the guys, but nobody else knows. I think professional MMA fans, professional MMA watchers, they don't like the big money fights because I don't know, like, maybe they're introverts and they don't want to hang out with people, but I like hanging out with people. I like having a big money fight. Like the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight, as much as people hate on that fight, dude, everybody and their mom was watching that fight. That was insane, but I hope Conor wins. I just don't think he's going to. If I had to predict, I would say it would be a knockout in the third. Donald Cerrone would knock Conor McGregor out. Not knock him out like unconscious, but maybe like a TKO, or he would knock him down and submit him. I think Donald Cerrone is going to finish Conor McGregor in the third. I don't think it's going to go the distance. Pretty sure Donald Cerrone is going to completely annihilate Conor McGregor, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Appreciate y'all watching. Check me out, SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter. Like always, check me out on the streets. That didn't stop, did it?